Hi, my name's Shawn Shaler. That guy over there is Chris Ford, aka the Objective Geek of YouTube and Twitter and of Tulsa. No, I don't know. Chris, did you go home for Christmas or do you just stay in Topeka?
I don't know. I just stayed.
Okay, cool. We do you have any kind of rotation like, well, we do this year, that next year, or is it just completely seat of your pants?
Just whatever we're feeling. We didn't do anything like we didn't. Nah. And I actually never go home for Christmas because I like to just be in my own home. That sounds weird. If I do go to Tulsa around Christmas time, I'll go like a couple of days before Christmas. But then I want to be in my home that I own on Christmas.
With your own tree and your kids' gifts and et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel like my Christmas is like laid out for me and decided for me before I know what happens. I'll be like, oh, it'll be it'll be like September, and I'll be like, oh, looks like Christmas is on a Thursday this year. And Heather's like, yeah, so my mom wants this day, and your mom wants that day, and this day we got to go to Dodge
Oh,
City, and then we'll come home after that, and I'll be like, sweet. All right, is that going to be fun? And she's like, I don't know. I'm like, okay, cool. Let's do it. Let's do it. You look different. They, well, I hope you got everything on your wish list that you probably bought for yourself.
yeah. I think I've mentioned this before. Uh, like stuff that I want. Honestly, my wife wouldn't be able to buy really, and I enjoy getting whatever stuff my wife picks out for me. But I do typically just get whatever I want. Although right now, I kind of want a real Master Sword or real metal one, not like real sharp and stuff, just an
Sure.
actual metal one. But like if I was to tell my wife like, hey, I just want this thing, I think again she wouldn't buy that. That's kind of what I want right now. Either the Sword of Omens or a Master Sword. But I know I'm not gonna buy myself that because that's kind of a little too. I haven't found one that's $80 would be the most I would spend on that, and I haven't found
Surely you're
one that.
looking in the 200s would be my guess for like a okay
Maybe
looking one.
120.
See, I would have guessed. Well, yeah, interesting. All right, splurge on yourself, Chris. Just do it. Who doesn't need a sword, a literal sword?
The thing is, I think ever since I got that Black Power Ranger power axe, I was like, what else can I get of my favorite weapons? Which so that power axe was fairly cheap, and I already have a nice, uh, a nice katana
Okay.
for from Demon Slayer, which this is made of bamboo. It's not metal or anything, but I like it because the sword is actually is black and it looks like a sword. It's really cool. Then I tried to buy uh, a cheap White Ranger. I'll get it because it's in my. You've never seen that there's a door here. I'm just
Or more surprising, there's not a door there. Chris is just really good at hiding.
but I was so excited uh, about the Black Power Ranger battle axe that I bought. That it's made of foam, but it was still really cool.
It
So I
just
was like,
looks
oh,
great.
I'll buy this white Power Ranger sword one, and I bought it, and I kind of like it, right? Made of foam and stuff, but there's one big problem with it, and it's Saiba. Like from this side, it kind of looks fine, ish. Still not that great.
Yeah,
But
it
when
looks
I turn it this
3D.
way, he is a horse. This is a horse. This does
he's
not look like a tiger
he's
at
derpy.
all. This is a horse.
He's
And so that
derpy.
one, even when I look at it,
He looks.
I'm like,
I
I
know
don't.
it's foam, but he feels like a 3D printed thing, right? Like it feels
Yeah.
like a clump thing. But the rest of it looks good. I think,
Other than that, the rest of it looks pretty cool.
but It does lack. I think you did good by getting the axe first because there's something about the sword that lacks the gravitas of the
Yeah, no, you're right.
axe. Like just
No,
you prioritized well.
I'm taking this back. Yeah, because he's not a freaking horse. Like at best, maybe I could find a toy. Maybe I could get a 3D printed. No, now I'm spending too much money on something that was supposed to be cheap.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, other than that, I think it looks pretty cool, but it's a freaking horse.
got
It's
a
not a
derpy.
tiger.
Also, I feel
Like,
like is the gold emblem missing some like black what do I want to call it? Like black accent, black. I feel like there was
probably.
it's missing. Yeah, it's missing some black detail in the gold parts. I feel like I can't visualize
Yeah.
it right now, but oh, it
I mean,
looks
I
nice.
mean to ask, meaning ask John what he likes more, Power Rangers or Ninja Turtles. Because I've kind of been like conflicted. I don't know which one I like more.
If we're allowed to answer like a full like the full universe, like as a property, I think my
Yeah.
easy answer is turtles. If you start narrowing down to things more specifically, I might have a more difficult time. Because the turtles, you have
I'm not.
really good movies and TV shows and video games. It's whereas the Power Rangers, I feel like just I think the games are more hit or miss. I think the movies are more hit or miss. I don't know. I guess it will only be able to approve this scientifically with rankings episodes with John.
Yeah. But honestly, I don't know which one I like. I kept going back and forth, like both, especially in that time frame of like 6-year-old Chris or Ryan. Makes sound like I went through some transition.
I mean, the Power Rangers, there might technically be more Power Rangers content overall, right? Just like season after season after season.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I'm just not sure which one I like more as a property. Like, there's, I don't know, they're so similar, and in a way they're similar. But anyway,
Yeah, I'm very biased because I like those early Turtles movies and several Turtles video games. A ton. But so I'm interested in John's take though. He'd probably be surely in your boat of 50-50.
yeah, like I said, because he might love Power Rangers more than I do because he collects like a bunch of
That's like
those.
half of his game room, at least that you see on camera. It feels like it's Power Rangers. But that'd be the thing that might win you over towards Power Rangers is the toys. Like Turtles, there's a ton of them.
Yeah.
Like okay, yeah, but Power
Yeah.
Rangers, like Zords, are meant to be toys. They're built for it. Probably literally, like it's probably a He-Man situation. Like we have a toy idea. Can we make this a TV show? And like, oh, we got this Japanese footage here you can use. Like, okay. No, the toys would be the deal breaker, maybe. Well, Chris, I hope you get what you want for Christmas. I do. I'll call it a suggestion. Let's call it a light suggestion. Heather and I still just we kind of buy what we want because we were like two people with jobs and no children for a decade, and so just buy things. But we still every year we do try our best to surprise each other with something small-ish. We don't put a dollar amount on it. It's usually I'm gonna guess. I mean, it's like usually under $50. And we try to surprise each other with one thing that like an actual surprise. Didn't ask for it. Try to be really thoughtful. Sometimes it'll even be like a subscription. Like I'll give Heather a subscription to something because she knows I despise subscription services. So it'll be like whatever she wants or whatever she was discussing at that point in time. And that's been nice because then we have a surprise and B, something to actually open on Christmas. So yeah, give it a shot sometime, or don't. I don't care. Not your boss. But it makes me give her a thoughtful gift instead
Where
of
is
just
that?
copping out.
Oh no, it's from Community. I just don't know what episode it was. I think Jeff left a message.
Troy going away. Do it or don't. I'm not your boss. And it's like whatever he's like whispering the goodbyes.
Got it. Okay.
We
Seems like such a Jeff thing to say, of like nonchalantness at the end of, and also being like, I don't want responsibility for you. But you're right. I think it was Troy.
yeah. Well, no, I think that's what. No, it is Troy telling somebody else is I do this or don't. I'm not your boss. It is Troy telling. I don't remember who he's talking to though. What did we just see? We just watched the episode of The Good Place where something happened that every single time I watch it, it hits me as like the funniest thing ever. What is it? It is in season 4, and the joke lands every time. Oh, Jason brings up his mom, and she's like, he's like, yeah, she died when I was really young. The big C. That's what we call this crocodile in my neighborhood, right? So instantly, that's funny. And then he's like, no, I'm just kidding. It was cancer. It gets me every time.
You know what's funny is that I forgot that joke. And so when you told me the first punchline, even that was funny.
That's funny enough by itself. That's what we call this crocodile in our neighborhood.
But then followed up with the second punchline. And that's he was.
And I think it stands out because it gets me every single time it hits me. Anyway, Chris, this week we're gonna do our. I think we've done similar-ish stuff in the past. We're just gonna call it our 2026 Avatar Wishlist, but with the disclaimer that there are no rules or restrictions, so it can be anything whatsoever. But our 2026 Avatar Wishlist. I have a feeling we're going to have some things that will overlap, and so I'm going to start with one of those things. Chris, if you don't mind, I'll go first. Let's season 2 be decent, at least, right? The Netflix live action season 2. Let it at least maintain the current level of quality and the current level of interest at a minimum, because we want it to be good and we deserve it to be good. We want more. So, yeah.
Yeah, no, that's honestly the goal. It's just for it to maintain its quality. It'd be great if it was even better. And this from a person who really likes it. It's funny. I've been coming across more clips of it of season 1. I'm like, man, this is so great. Like, it's so freaking good. I will say this: the more I've thought about, and I've said this before, is that adaptions. Having varied adaptions, not necessarily one for one, it's actually good for IP and properties. That way it can branch out and different people can get different things from it. You can always go back to the cartoon. But like my example is Batman. Batman has literally thousands and thousands of iterations. And he has survived the test of time of being around for 80 something years because of all these different iterations. If every iteration was the same, he would have stopped probably in 5 years. So you run out of stories to tell and ways to tell it. It's just the exact same iteration. And so having varied iterations widens your scope of audience, and yeah, it helps the property itself. So I was thinking about this more, especially thinking of like an older Aang. Like, what does that do for the story? How does that make Aang feel and stuff? And like, I am curious to see. I'm probably more curious going into this season. No, I mean, that's kind of a lie. I'm differently curious going into this season than I was in a different way than I was last year or last season. Because like, yeah, these characters seem a little bit older, and I know there'll be some things I'm like, I like better here and stuff, but still being able to experience something different, that's almost the joy of having adaptions.
I think so. Chris, you might remember. I don't necessarily, but in my head, it's like if I was on the first season, if I was at like a 6.5 or 7 out of 10 ballpark territory overall, like, all right, that's good. I want to see more. That's good enough for me. The easiest way for me to be happier would be like, all right, well, if you hold that level of quality and then you get rid of some of those damn talking heads and some of that horrible telling you things instead of like showing you things. It would be a little thing that for me would instantly raise the quality bar and make me a very happy camper. But even if they don't, just all right. Well, at least stay here. At least stay in that 7 out of 10. I want to see it because it's different and unique. Stay there. That's my bar for success. But again, ideally with a fewer talking heads and a little less verbatim description, which I feel like
Yeah.
shouldn't be that hard to achieve. But I am excited, and I think it will, Chris. I think that's a wish list item, but I also have faith that it actually is gonna get. Faith sounds too nebulous. I believe that it's gonna hold that level of quality. Believe.
Yeah.
Chris, why don't you take the next one?
All right. The biggest thing coming out next year, which is interesting because we're kind of quiet because we haven't really gotten many updates about it at all.
Oh yeah.
And also, and I was just like, oh, when does this movie come out again? It is the Legend of Aang, Avatar: The Last. Wait, I'm sorry. What is the movie called exactly?
No, I thought you nailed it. Avatar: The Last Airbender, The Legend of Aang, or something.
The Legend of Aang. There we go. Yes, Avatar: Last Airbender, The Legend of Aang. Its release date currently is October 9th, 2026. So we are only about 10 months away from being an adult Aang movie, and that should be pretty interesting.
I completely forgot that was this year, probably because of that nondescript title.
But yeah, so we'll probably get a trailer for it in a couple months. If I had to guess, let's see, if it comes out in October, they're not gonna waste Super Bowl. Oh wait, this is a really cheap. I'm sorry, I want to say cheap movie. This is a movie that they're not gonna put out, I think, that much.
Yeah, that's not a Super Bowl. But what about like summertime, right? What if they hit?
It'll be earlier.
Big.
It'll probably.
But like when the marketing pops, right? Hit kids and families during summer with your marketing big.
That's when the marketing will get full. I wouldn't say full swing, but start really popping. But I would expect a trailer probably in March, late February or March. And that's exciting. That's exciting just to look for a trailer. I think that trailer is going to be, honestly, pretty freaking great. I'm expecting a lot from the trailer for some reason. Expecting more from the trailer than for the movie. I expect the movie to also be great.
But what we're looking for in a trailer for this, I'm probably oversimplifying a little bit, is we just want to see this animation again, and we just want it to be animated, beautiful in front of our eyes.
2D animation on a big screen.
Yes, that's what that's all our brains want from this, Chris. Like, it could probably be a bad movie, and I bet we would still walk out of the theater having like a refreshed palate. You know what I mean? Yeah. Just like, what, that was nice. Which, by the way, if I go see it in theaters, what's the last movie I saw in a theater? If I didn't go to a theater between now and when I presume that I'll just join you in Topeka uninvited, it may be
go join you. I may go find an IMAX.
Maybe like a big 3-year window since my last movie in a theater.
Jeez, Shawn. You're the you know what's funny is I was thinking about why Netflix is buying Warner Bros. and stuff, and people being like, this is gonna kill the theatrical thing. And I'm like, I think that's already like, go to like, people don't, people have one thing. Movie studios has trained audiences to stop going to theater because they release their stuff on digital like a month or 2 months later. But I am in the minority of like, I like to go to the movies. I like to sit down. I like to take time out of my day to get up, buy a ticket, drive to a movie theater, sit in the seat and watch the movie. Like, not a lot of people really have that same feeling of me. Like, it's becoming more and more niche. And like, Netflix buying Warner Brothers isn't. It may quicken that that
That
change, but that
death.
change is happening, and it's going to happen no matter what.
It was already happening. I don't think this is debatable. Chris, I think you'll be like, yeah, that's for sure. It was already happening before COVID, gradually, very gradually. Then COVID
I think,
ramped it up to like a 9.
yeah,
And
yeah,
to
absolutely.
so agree or disagree with Netflix's current acquisition, you can't point the finger at Netflix. You can hate it, but you can't be like, they're ruining it. It's like, no, no, this was pre COVID. There was a trend here. I will say, I if I'm the problem, which that's fair, I'm also the problem for streaming services and all that everything.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, you're
jo-
bumming off of people. Peacock. I seriously don't watch Peacock that much.
uh,
I find that funny.
I watch Peacock so much because it has Brooklyn Nine-Nine and Community and Monday Night Football and no, sorry, Sunday Night Football and what's another? There's one more big thing on there I'm missing. Good Place. What do I watch?
Probably,
Good
yeah.
Place.
Yeah, yeah. Good place. Yeah, came on NBC.
I have files of the Good Place that I watch because I care that much about it. Anyway, um,
Well, you can't buy it on Blu-ray or DVDs.
you sure can't. But Jordan actually has a theater pass. He literally goes to the movies like 3 or 4 times, just something he likes to do.
You know what's funny is that I I think Netflix could honestly they probably don't have any aspirations for this. But the person who started Netflix, he left, and then and I may be wrong, it's Mr. but he started Movie Pass. Movie Pass was insane. I freaking love Movie Pass. You remember Movie Pass?
Not
You
familiar.
never had it.
Oh.
I had it. You pay $10 a month. You can see as many movies as you want.
So
And I
that's
was like,
Jordan has. What do they
this
have in
business.
Wichita? Is
Well, they have. I'm sure he has like AMC StubHub or something like that.
AMC is that in Wichita? And it's just, but it's like $25 a month. Like he has to go
Yeah. Yeah.
3 times to get his money's worth at least.
Yeah.
But he ends up going like 3 times. Like he sees every new movie, good or bad. He has like a rotating schedule of this is movie night, that's movie night.
If I had time, I would do that.
I think he's.
Um,
I think he's thinking that he'll like meet a girl in the movie theater or something, and I keep wanting to point out to him, like you don't talk to new people in the movie theater, dog. Like you need to try a park or anywhere
go
else.
to the library.
To the
Go
library.
to
Uh, this
anyway.
cracks me up. Sorry, off topic. No, our eyes are going to be
I was
relieved
saying
when we see
I was
the
saying
animation.
Netflix. I was saying Netflix could possibly do a subscription deal the way they do with their movies, with their streaming thing. Have a side thing of like, oh, here's a theater thing, and our movies only. You can go see them whatever X amount of time in the movie theater while they're playing. Well, the movie theaters probably love that because they can then
It's
sell
kind of a
their
win-win,
food and stuff.
Chris.
But again, I'm not sure if Netflix is like, hey, that's the route we want to go. But it'll be great for cinephiles like myself who loves going to the movies. Like I love just the feeling of sitting down in a movie theater before the movie starts and see the screen. You're sitting in your chair. Just that feeling is great.
This is my preferred place to watch a movie, right? This chair, this room.
Yeah.
Chris, when I shut everything else off, this room is pitch black. The acoustics in here are intentionally fantastic.
But you're not shutting everything off. You still got your phone. You still have other possible distractions. When you're sitting in the movie theater, it's just you and the movie. You're locked in.
But you have
You're
inspired
in that
me
world.
to the next time I actually watch a movie, I will shut everything off. I'll put my baby to bed. I'll turn the
Yep.
phone off.
Just to spite me.
Just no. Well, no. Spice the opposite. I was going for inspiration. You have inspired me to take in a movie in a better
Just
way.
call it inspidery.
Inspiration. That's a complain it. Let's complain it.
Yeah.
What the hell? No, splain a brag. There's
Yeah, explain and brag.
Complasults and splanabrags. That's what it was. Anyway, I'll make myself a popcorn because I do love a good movie theater popcorn. No, for real though, it'll be like 3 years, but our eyes will be just like a breath of fresh air to see that on
Oh
the screen.
gosh, yeah.
Like it's 1999 all over again. Uh,
2D animation is so great. Man, just seeing like little clips from like Anastasia of
what
and I
a
never even watched Anastasia before really, but
what a beautifully animated. Is that the makers of Ferngully? Who's that's not Disney. It's who did that?
I think was it DreamWorks?
No, it's too early for DreamWorks. I think. Now I gotta look it up.
Yeah, I think.
What a beautifully animated film that's probably better than people give it
Yeah,
credit for, actually.
yeah.
Film, 1997. Chris, I echo your I didn't have it on my list or anything because I forgot that it existed. But yeah, it absolutely. 20th Century Studios. It's a Don Bluth film. That's what I was kind of looking for.
Hmm. Hmm.
Interesting.
But yeah, this that's fine. This movie would probably be the biggest thing for the fandom because it would really decide where the franchise goes and how successful it's going to be. I don't expect it to make a lot of money. Probably mm, three 390, high 300s.
But
Just movies aren't making money as they used to.
if it's good enough to bring people into a theater, that's a good sign.
Although, honestly, although recent anime movies have been killing at the box office, like the Demon Slayer movie, Infinity Castle made like 800 million. It made more than any superhero movie came out. 87, somewhere between 700 and 800.
Nice.
And so like and those are 2D animation also. They have a little bit of like
Demon
just
Slayer
3D
is a
stuff.
more recent phenomenon, though,
That's
right?
the
Like the
thing. That is
recency is gonna
yeah,
help. But if it made
yeah.
if this made 500 plus, you'd still be happy, right? Like at 500, you'd be
Yeah,
like, okay,
I think 350 is where I will be. Anything below 350, I'll be like, man, we should make more. Um, it's funny, the original one made, I'm sorry, oh my gosh, I'm blessed. M. Night's film made, what's like 650? It was actually successful at the box office.
fiscally only.
Yeah.
But it was also expensive to make, wasn't it? For the time.
Yeah, I mean, it probably cost like 220 or something.
Like it
Um,
was a full AAA budget film.
mhm, yeah.
Uh, but anyway, Chris, yeah, I echo your sentiment on all fronts. Uh, I want a good, which this is a catch 22. I want a good Avatar game. Damn it! And we see these clips right now, Chris. It's a fighting game, and
Yeah.
it's gonna be a weird thing if like the first quote unquote good Avatar game is a fighting game because it's just my least played genre of game. I'll also say that fighting games are would be like the most notorious thing for having a good looking like gameplay trailer, but that you just can't tell until you pick it up and you feel the balance. The balance of the game is the most impossible thing that every fighting game ever fights against. Pun intended. So all that coming full circle says I don't necessarily need it to come out this year. I just can't we get a good Avatar adventure of some type, please?
Oh man, that would be great. I mean, I forget when or what that game was supposed to be, where there's like an ice age and you're like an avatar. I want to like maybe a Fire Nation avatar. That takes place like hundreds and hundreds of years before even
It could be
Kyoshi.
basically a blank slate if you step it back far enough, as long as you don't, want
Oh
like
yeah.
hyper good technology or that. But just it seems like the universe would be prime for just a big fun adventure, big in sort of scope, but not of like our budget expectations for super duper high resolution everything's is like no, just a nicely animated big adventure. I would settle for any good game because there still is just no good Avatar games.
I would say Legend Core is a good
Korra
I think it
is
falls under good.
Korra is good. It is an exception because it's made by Platinum Games, and they do good stuff. And every other Avatar game is not made by Platinum Games, nor anyone as reputable. Another game that, if you want to play, you have to have a file to play already in your possession.
Yes. Yep. I got it.
I got a
Not illegal.
file
I have it. Well, I have it legally on because I bought it on
on the
PlayStation
the
4.
actual store.
Yeah. All right. I am excited that so far looks like the fighting game is getting pretty positive response and their testing.
I hope so. I'll play it. I'll try it. I'll be like, good. And then I'll
If
put
it's
it
good,
down.
if it gets like a average, I don't know, Metacritic score of 8 or above or whatever, I think might be a day one buy for me. Just
Um,
to support
to
if anything.
support a good game, let me think. If the early scores if the early scores are comfortably in the sevens, I would go find it from an actual retailer new pretty early. Just to like, yep, please do this again, but in a different
Yeah.
genre. And not Pai Show, don't you dare. It can't be the good.
All right. Next thing I have is the Roku novel. Roku novel comes out in 2 weeks. Um, we'll see if we get we'll see if we just automatically get our free copy or my recent reach out to my contacts there at Abrams Books. They took vacation early.
To our
I
person on the inside.
got I messaged them, emailed them like maybe like 5 or so days ago. So somewhere around like the 12th or something. And I got an immediate out of office response. I'm like, oh, they're taking off some time. I think their offices themselves are closed for like a week or something, which I thought really only like manufacturing jobs did that. But I guess publishers do it too. And Hollywood does it. No, well, also Congress does it too.
Their Congress vacations are asinine. That I didn't even.
Yeah, yeah. But Rogan Novel's coming out. We talked about Wishlist. I hope I like it more than the previous one. I like the previous one enough. That was such a disclaimer. That was such a almost a backhanded compliment. But I just hope this one's better.
Yep. It could use some betterness. It would not hurt from being better. That's what we should say.
Yeah. I would hope that when I read it, I don't feel any badness. I hope that when I read it, I want to keep the book for myself instead of using it as a gift or as a prize for trivia.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a nice bar. I hope that when I read it, because I don't read a lot of books, I hope that when I read it, I don't spend a whole lot of time thinking, well, here's how this could have been better. That's not my preferred way to intake, any entertainment, really, but especially written word. Also, Chris,
And again, I don't think it's the writer's fault. I just feel like I'm not so negative. It's just Roku. Like, why do we go with Roku? But
Chris, I forgot to mention this earlier, but I had the Anastasia up on my screen. I just keep looking at this. What an incredible voice cast that movie had. Holy smokes.
really,
Meg Ryan, John Cusack, Christopher Lloyd, Kelsey Grammer, Kirsten Dunst, Angela Lansbury, Hank Azaria, who you would probably know, I think, from Friends, if I'm not thinking of that wrong. Okay, it falls off after that, but that's for that all that for an animated movie. That's just people's voices. Anyway, yeah, better Roku novel, and also that we get a free one because that always makes me feel good. Chris, I hope we get. I've had a ton of fun playing with the Magic the Gathering set. I hope there's like an announcement or a hint at a Korra set. Because I think
Yeah.
this one's been wildly popular as far as Magic the Gathering sets go. The biggest complaint is that there was not pre-constructed decks, right? Like you and I couldn't just go to the store and buy a commander deck or a regular deck. Um, Not in the traditional fashion, only in like the beginner's box sense. So some note of like, hey, yeah, this was so good. Someday we'll do Korra, even if that was like 2 or 3 years down the line. Would be really cool to see. And especially if they're like, and this time we'll have pre-cons. I'll be, yes, that'd be great. I think it would be too soon. I think that Magic doesn't do that. I don't think they like to tie themselves to ideas, I guess is probably. I'm not that familiar with them, but they don't seem to do that kind of thing. It would be nice to know, though, or to hear.
Imagine if Yu-Gi-Oh did the whole let's use IP thing.
Yeah, the Fortnite slash Magic slash. Man, Magic is. Magic, everything is in Magic now. It would be off-putting if it weren't Avatar, but damn it, if they didn't call my bluff.
But at least like they also have like Marvel superheroes in Magic, and I feel like that feels wrong. Like at least
Just
Avatar is fantasy.
just Spider Man and help me out.
Oh,
The other
just
one I
like
don't like, uh,
Iron Man.
Doctor Strange.
Oh, okay, Doctor Strange.
Yeah, but the Spider Man one is like universally hated because not only is there's only like 70 or 80 cards in the whole set or something like that, but then the arena, so the computer version of the game, they were unable to secure like the video game rights to Spider-Man. So never
Mm.
once in any of the cards that you can get in the computer game is there actually a Spider-Man card or a direct picture of Spider-Man. It's all just like ancillary, not Spider. You know what I mean? So that's fine. So no, I don't. Everybody hated Spider-Man. A lot of people hated Sonic, and then SpongeBob was another one where it was like it was funny, but I don't think.
Mm.
But like people went crazy for Avatar. Lord of the Rings was huge, as you might
Oh
imagine.
gosh. Yeah.
And that one, I don't even feel like that one made interesting or like good decks. Sorry, they were interesting, but not good. But I'm sure somebody would prove me very wrong there. Anyway, just I just want to hear that it did good, and the Magic's like, yeah, maybe someday we'll do a Korra.
Mm. Yep. My next thing is I need a good toy company to get the rights from Avatar. McFarlane, thing about Avatar toy rights is that they've never been like exclusive. McFarlane did a couple great figures, but they only did like well, like 6 characters. And even in their 7-inch ones, they only did Aang and Zuko. And I'm pretty sure they no longer have those. They only made one statue. So I'm hoping that there's some news around there because I love toys and stuff. And also, hope they get to Korra. I need some. This is probably also a common theme of like, let's just get more Korra. Let's get more Korra in there and everything. Because that story needs and comics and games and Magic. Get more Legend of Korra in there. But yeah, so get someone to get the toy rights, make more toys. Along with the toy things is statues. Diamond Select is no longer a company. They went under, I think. Something happened to them. Or I forget exactly. No, I mean they're still a company. Just think they just don't do toys or statues anymore. Which is annoying to me. Like a couple of weeks ago, I was like, oh yeah, I ordered that Sokka statue. And I was like, well, what happened? It should have been in by now. And I go and I look at my orders on Amazon, and I don't even see it in there. And I'm like, well, when did this get canceled? I look through my emails, and then And then I realized, oh, then I do some Googling, like, oh, Diamond Select just stopped doing everything. It wasn't a issue with the soccer one, it was an issue with their whole freaking
They're just done.
merchandising stuff. Yeah. Because first I went to eBay. I was like, well, maybe I can find it on eBay. Maybe they ran out of inventory on Amazon. I find eBay. Nope, this thing just doesn't exist. They were never made. They don't have it, which is bad. Which is sad because the Saga statue I was really looking forward to.
Understandable.
So hope someone can make statues. I don't know. They could probably get Dark Horse to make some great statues. Because Dark Horse also does the comics, so maybe there's an opportunity there for Dark Horse to make some statues.
Does Dark Horse like outsource that, or do they like own a manufacturing?
That's an interesting question.
I'm gonna bet that they outsource because it would be wild to think about a comic book company like owning a whole sort of plant or line.
Yeah,
but I didn't. Sorry, I'm only curious because I didn't realize Dark Horse made statues. That's kind of cool.
No, you're right. Yeah, because I got they do a lot of different properties too. Because for my Mr. Freeze custom, that was from a Mr. Freeze custom statue I made from a Master Chief Halo statue. That was a Dark Horse statue. And like Dark Horse has nothing to do with
not
Halo.
Not at all.
I don't think they even have comics, and so but yeah, Dark Horse typically makes a lot of great statues. So hopefully we'll see that in the future.
Chris, this is my last one, or at least the last one I thought of, is that, so Heather and I think I've always mentioned that we kind of have a TV show that we watch like while we're eating dinner or at night, or there's always one, different times of the year we go faster or slower, depending on how busy we are at football or whatever. But I think that I hope that this year I can get Heather started, especially during Cam's waking hours, on like his first Avatar watch through, like that being our show. Go through Avatar and Korra, a Netflix season or two, depending on when this started and or ended. And I hope we can make that our show and be Cam's first little watch, even though he pays zero attention to anything right now. Just, A, because I want to, and B, because he's got to have a first time eventually.
No, that's a good point. I had a random thought a couple of days ago of like, I need to get my son into Avatar. Also, my son doesn't watch, my oldest son. I get them both in Avatar. But I feel like he'll stick to my oldest one more right now. Like, I haven't been that much like, oh, I want to get them into this thing.
Right, because you're a good parent. Ever. Right, there's that bit.
But the thing about my oldest son doesn't really watch, like, shows, and I'm like, oh well, I want to trigger that creative aspect of something. I thought I could probably give him a good book also. I mean, he has been into, anyway, like you, I think I should just have a time to, like, hey, let's watch the show. He watched a lot of episodes when he was a kid. Like, well, I say kid, he's still a kid. He watched a lot of episodes when he was smaller, but then I just random, like, it's on and he just sit there, but I haven't gotten him into it yet. And I think because I've gotten my daughter into a lot of shows since she was, his age, and I would like to get my son into more shows.
I think that Cam is at an age right now, which 3 weeks it'll be different or whatever. But we could probably have a really good like bedtime routine of we get him ready in his last diaper, and then we feed him. Throw 22 minutes of episode on while we're kind of feeding him and winding him down, and have that be part of the nighttime routine for a couple months. What did we decide the other day? That'd be 60, mostly weeknights. It doesn't always happen that way on weekends, but 60, 120, 10, 130. What's 130 divided by 5? 26 weeks, like half a year, give or take, of weekday, one a night. Something like that. And then, because Heather's probably been through Avatar two or three times. Korra probably just once, in the Netflix series just once. So she would also be getting back through as well.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, boy, that would be a miracle if I get my wife into to
I don't
watch anything that I like.
I don't know that Heather loves it. She just is open and doesn't mind watching a lot of things.
Like,
You know what I mean?
I think there's stuff that I'm like, my wife would probably love this anime if she just watched it, and she'll be really into it. But nah, she'll never do that.
Heather will watch. You know what? I can say it. Heather will watch literal garbage. And I'll be like, honey, do you enjoy that? And she's like, well, there's this one thing about it that I enjoy. And she'll describe
I
like
know
20% of the otherwise 80% garbage. I'm like, all right. So she just has a low bar for what she's willing to like try. Uh,
I think my this sounds really judgmental, but my wife watches like I think it's just crap, like Real Housewives stuff, or like I don't know, 90 Day Fiance or
Heather's
whatever. I'm like this,
Heather's is
like
HGTV stuff, right? So the part that she likes is seeing interesting houses in interesting places, not the other like 80% of poorly scripted, weirdly forced, stupid house buying scenarios. Like, but it's like, I mean,
yeah,
whatever.
yeah. My thing is just a different. Like I love. My wife watches a lot of real stuff. She also loves watching like, crime stuff, a bunch of crime stuff,
Oh, I thought you
and
said
like crime
Prime
stuff
stuff.
doesn't.
I was like, why are you throwing shade at Amazon now? Jeez.
Uh,
First you steal Jeff
yeah, they
Bezos'
gave me a free
money, and
couch.
now you're gonna talk crap
Yeah.
on him on his.
But lots of crime and killer stuff, and like I think it's just a different thing. Like I would much rather watch cartoons than that.
Mm.
Like I like to like there's because stories are so you know I think stories are so important. Stories are like a instruction manual almost to life. Like there's so much great stories and stuff, and Avatar is absolutely one of the greatest. Um, and love diving into this world of fiction and stuff. And that's not my wife's thing. I think my wife just likes more real, honest stuff. Like she likes
Yeah.
like the movies she likes are based off of like real events mostly. And I mean I like those movies too, but I see the the way our minds work differently, or just our tastes are differently.
Heather does like crime stuff. I typically don't, but if I had to pick, it's like, well, at least the crime TV shows, there's like very likable characters or whatever she's watching. Uh, I don't.
Oh, I say crime as in like real crime, like true
Oh, okay. No,
crime.
Heather would be Bones, Numbers, Criminal Minds, CSI. So not true crime, but crime drama. That's probably the right.
Yeah.
Yeah, crime drama. Uh, I hate stuff based on true stories because my gut instinct is to sit there and watch and be like, that didn't really happen. That part didn't happen. And I'm probably wrong 80% of the time, but you can't tell Shawn that while he's watching. That didn't happen. And there's this Hallmark movie that we watched called Nona's because Vince Vaughn was in it. And it's like he's an Italian in New York and his grandma dies. So he decides to pursue his dream of opening this restaurant. And he ends up hiring these grandmas, these Italian grandmas, to be his cooks, right? And they're called Nonas. And anyway, long story short, there's the part of the movie, and I felt so vindicated. There's this like a love interest that's just painfully shoehorned into an otherwise pretty good story. Right? It's fine
Mm.
without the love interest, but it's
Yeah.
Hallmark, Chris. It needs a love interest, and it's just shoehorned so badly. Then at the end of the movie, they show all these pictures of the real guy and the real friend that helped him, and blah blah blah. And never once in any of those pictures did the girl show up, and I felt such vindication. It was like, yeah, that was trash, and I hated it on purpose. Uh, but I find myself doing that with based on true story everything.
Yeah.
Uh,
My my last thing is pretty much all to do with it's all up to us and me. I want to get at least I want to release at least one issue of our Avatar fantastical mythos slash fan fiction comic book out. I have that for a goal. of just get at least one issue done and perhaps released.
That's awesome. Do you stash like individual assets, like as you're creating art assets? Do you save individual bits and pieces,
You mean like
like a character without a background, right? Things like that.
oh concept art? Yeah, I have it all
Well,
saved on
no, not
my.
even concept, just the actual assets, right? So like as you create, it's like a reusable bits and pieces of characters. Uh,
No,
okay.
'cause typically when you say asset, what do
Uh,
you mean asset?
assets be an
Like
individual piece of art that you would put into a comic book or whatever, right? Like an individual component, a character, a
oh
scene, but
oh
something usually reusable or potentially reusable to some degree.
oh not yet. Well, I have some that I would reuse because I've been drawing like Zeto at different angles. And
Mhm.
I'm like, all right, that face is going to be used different way. There'll be, if I can, use a close up of a face. Yeah, so I have some of it. Um, I plan on my goal or my thought idea is like for the main characters to just to make it easier for myself is to just draw them, color them from like 5 different angles, and then I can just reuse them throughout the comic book.
Right,
Um,
exactly that. Absolutely.
gotcha.
That's
So I have a few. Really, I just have probably Settle right now, but right now for like the rest of the characters, just the first initial concept art.
awesome. Um, that's great, man. I actually thought you were gonna say which. I'll type this on real quick. When you first said it, I was like, I actually thought you were gonna say we should have a good panel, but it's like, oh, that's a given. Of course we'll have
That
because
is a
it
good. Yeah.
is a given. Um,
Oh, I do hope we get some. And they're releasing for Comic Con, Planet Comic Con. They've been slowly releasing all celebrities, so I hope we get some Avatar people.
it,
I doubt we'll get Korra because Janet Varney came recently to Kansas City. Um,
although it does feel like, well, she came to that one. Why wouldn't she come to this one? You know what I mean? Like the better
yeah,
one. But yeah,
it is the better. Like,
the
hey, you could have made
far
more
better.
money if
Yeah,
you gave the other
but we
one.
wouldn't have
Probably.
got to talk to her the
I
the
know.
same way, at least.
Yeah, she was great.
Yeah, super
Um,
pleasant.
I do. Let's see who do I need. I haven't met Dante Bosco yet because we were too busy. And Mae Whitman. Hey, Mae Whitman will show up to one.
Who's who's
I got a bunch of,
who's Dan missing? Did he ever? I feel like he's got a very exact list of this person in this place at this time.
yeah.
It's a dedicated.
It might be Mae Whitman has not become who's the voice of Katara. Um, doesn't really come to a lot of cons. She's coming to more cons lately, but historically she hasn't came to a lot
Okay.
of them.
Well, it makes sense that he would be missing that. He, living in the relative ballpark here, that he would be missing. But like last time we talked to him, he was going to Denver because of one specific. I don't remember who it was. Dan,
It might have been me.
dedication to the game right there, man. Tell us if it was
Yeah.
me. We can't remember. But no, it'd be sick to see just like to be like printed version of a comic book and
Oh, that's why. Yeah, I just want like, yeah,
the tangible feeling of a completed work in your hands. Probably not much. I've
yeah.
never written a book before. I assume that's a pretty cool feeling. I did write a very long master's thesis, but I did not have to print it technically. It just got to be delivered digitally.
Yeah. And then I'm wondering like, how would I even print it? I mean, I'll use my printer, but I'll have to come up with some creative ways.
Uh, what is a comic book? This is a stupid question. Is a comic book just 8.5 by 11 folded in half and stapled?
Um, well, it's so like say the last page and the first page are the same.
Yeah, that's my So that's
page.
a printing setup in like Adobe. Like you can essentially print it up
Oh,
like
okay,
stapled, like fold staple, so that
cool.
it
Yeah,
will take your pages how you have ordered them and put them in the right. I said Adobe. It would
nice.
probably be like InDesign as opposed to because it's newspaper. Like a news at the local newspaper in my small town, they just use
Mm.
InDesign, and it's the same concept of like first page here was also the last page.
Mm-hmm.
And you just had to put it
Yeah, oh, it'd be like
in the order that you would actually think about it, like page 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it did the rest for you. Actually, it was super convenient. But anyway, like I
that.
said, size wise though, like form factor is a comic book, just an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper folded in half. Or is that too small? That
Oh,
feels smaller than a comic
they
book for
have
some reason.
yeah. Well, well, the Avatar comics are usually smaller, but like this is a
Yeah, that's
uh
bigger then, right?
yeah, like Absolute Batman. There's there's this great Absolute Batman had a I don't know if we talked about Absolute Batman before, but he recently had an annual of this one here is one of my favorite comics I've read recently. It's so this is a different universe called the Absolute Universe where Batman is like broke and his mom lived, but his dad died. He's not like rich or anything, but he's also like 7 foot and just massive.
We talked about him because of one of your figures.
Yeah, yeah, one of my customers. But in his comic book, he fights the Klan, which I'm always cool with,
Sure, yeah.
and he just
Clan
destroys stuff.
and Nazis,
Like,
right? Always fair game.
yeah. Um. Oh, anyway, yeah, this is a real comic book. It's probably typically about 9 by 11.
Okay.
Not nine, 9, 8, maybe 8 by 11. See my fingers there. Yeah, maybe 8 by 11. Anyway,
I think that would be
um,
the easiest way. Is just again just an 8.5 by 11 folded in half, and I said that'll be a easy setting to do. Ian, who did the
yep.
Avatar episode or the Magic episode of this, he has a nice well printer, which doesn't necessarily print in higher quality. It can, doesn't mean it does, but it uses less color, right? So if you're printing like full page color, it's very ink efficient. For example,
Mm.
just throwing it out there. That'd be sick. What was I just thinking? Oh, so I know I don't want to get too deep into remakes here. Totally fine with the idea that Batman exists, but isn't such a big part of the appeal? Like this is what would turn me off of a remake of like, no, that's far enough that it loses my interest to a degree, because the appeal of Batman is how he is such a good person and a super duper wealthy billionaire, right? Because those things don't seem to usually coexist. Like, isn't that part of Batman's appeal?
I mean, to me him being rich isn't necessarily the appeal.
Not the appeal,
Gatney,
but
well,
like such a foundation of a character of that we have this
it
rich
is it
guy
is
who would
right.
have
It is the
every reason in the world to just not do anything. He doesn't need anything.
yeah. I mean, it's definitely part of the character. Um, but to me, you can tell Batman stories without him having money. Lots of people have. Yeah, and that universe does a lot. But like the things that attract me to him isn't that he's super rich. I don't think that's the thing that to me that is not an integral part. I mean, it is an integral part. It's not an integral part of me loving the character.
What
That
it attracts me to him again that he is rich, not because he's rich, but that he is a good person or like a superhero that he is, despite being very rich and wealthy and important,
yeah,
right? Like to me, that is part of the
yeah.
appeal
No, I
of
mean that's valid.
of you know, he's already busy and he would have every reason in the world to never do or help anybody. But here he
Yeah.
is, you know. Oh, that's interesting.
To me, yeah. I mean, to me, it's the. I get what you're saying. Is that he is. safe in his ivory tower.
Could,
He has
yeah,
all
so
the
easily.
world. He still goes out and defends the helpless and stuff.
Yeah, or
Um,
easy enough to be like,
he,
oh, look at all this money I give. That's the real problem solver or whatever. It's like, no,
yeah. To me, the crux of Batman is that he takes something bad and makes something good out of it. Um, right, parents died. He made something good out of it. In this universe, Bruce's dad died. He still made something good out of it. And also, there's also the vengeance of. There's so many things about it that can attract. So many things about Batman that can attract people to him. Honestly, it's probably hard to say there's one thing that
sure.
there's the consensus of amongst fans. Um, like I said, what you said is absolutely and totally valid. Honestly, don't think there would be a consensus amongst fans of like, hey, what is it the thing that attracts you to Batman? It is so many things.
But if he doesn't have money, where does he get all
Yeah,
those wonderful toys, Chris? No, just kidding. And the
that part. Yeah.
uh
For some people, it's the look. For some people, it is the vengeance aspect of it. For some people, it's that he beats the crap out of people. For some people, it's that it's his
what
empathy.
if there was somebody
Um,
out there that just they loved bats as an animal so much and they're just like just hanging out with their bats like, man, if somebody would make a superhero out of you, and their friend sitting next to him is like, I got good news for you.
don't know if you heard of this character, but
Is it called Man Bat?
not for
No,
nothing.
not quite. Not for nothing. Uh, Speaking of which, don't forget to go play Arkham Origins, aka the proper Christmas video game.
Oh,
The best,
such a great Christmas.
the best
I
Christmas
love. I
video
am.
game.
I am hoping for a That's what 2026. I'm hoping for a remaster of Arkham Origins. I mean, or honestly, doesn't need to be remastered because still looks great. I play. It doesn't look great on a level of like Arkham Knight. Arkham Knight looks amazing still, and it holds up to current. That game is almost 10 years old, and it holds up to current video
Yeah,
games.
well,
Honestly,
but part of
um,
part of Arkham Knight was that I know the PC was problematic, but being a AAA game on PC, I think tends to push things more ambitiously, right? In terms of graphical appeal and longevity, and I think that
yeah.
helps. Well, I don't know, helps is the right word. It forces you to be more ambitious, I think.
Hmm.
No, Arkham
But yeah,
Origins.
I am hoping for a remaster of Arkham Origins because I love that game. That's my favorite Arkham video game, and I think it's so heavily underrated.
And maybe the best Christmas video game, I suppose you could say that Batman Returns. Those could also
Yeah,
probably be Christmas video games. Uh,
just the concept of like it's Christmas Eve and there's a bounty on Batman's head. That sells it right there.
uh,
And all these assassins are
well, the
out to
best
kill
part
him.
of is oh, I just dribbling. Deadshot is in like that's so cool.
Deathstroke. Yeah.
Deathstroke. Sorry, Deadshot, wrong side.
Okay.
Um, and I don't think that he appears in any of the in Night or City or I haven't played Night.
He appears in Night,
Okay, I haven't played Night,
um,
but City or Asylum.
but he's not nearly as cool as he was in Origins. At night, he just uses like tanks and stuff. You don't even really fight him.
That feels
And
like a
yeah,
misuse of him as a character, but whatever.
yeah, absolutely.
But like I said, I haven't played Night, but yeah, go play your favorite Christmas game as long as it's one of those or Die Hard Trilogy on the PS1 or Gremlins on the NES. Those are all your choices of Christmas game. I assume there's plenty of horrible Christmas, awful Christmas. There's a Duke Nukem. So in ye olden days of PC games, you would. It's not DLC, but it's not different. Is you would buy Duke Nukem the game, and then you would essentially go buy expansion packs, but like physically, right? And there's a Duke Nukem Christmas. It's called Duke Nuclear Winter, and it's just Duke Nukem, but you're running around shooting, shooting giant snowmen and ridiculous things like that. Merry Christmas. But this is our New Year's episode. Chris, final thoughts before I go to bed.
This is a this is 2026
It's
is a
wild.
really big year for Avatar that I honestly haven't really thought of or wrapped my head around. But this is probably the biggest year for Avatar since 2007.
Movie, live
I
action TV
think that's when it
series, book, and then the usual suspects.
ended.
Potentially game.
Make sure that, oh no, and in 2008. Yeah,
Uh,
game, movies, Netflix series. Whew, big year.
what are we looking at for movies? We didn't even talk about movies. No, I'm sorry, we did talk about.
Uh,
I'm sorry, we talked about movies. I had Netflix series, animated movie, book, video game. Are we missing something? Nah.
there's magic, but
It's 2025. That's
I'm thinking
old
about
news. Old
yeah,
news.
yeah, you're right.
All right. Well, happy New Year. I feel good about like if I'd say Merry Christmas and then I like to do the preface like or Merry whatever. Happy New Year is like you don't have to celebrate it. It's just a thing that happens to you regardless. So yeah, I can just say
Yeah,
Happy New Year unless you don't want to. I'm not your boss. And Happy New Year to you,
I,
Childish Gambino.
I need to find that clip.
It's a,
I still quote it, but
it's good. It's applicable. It plays. And then whatever he whispers to Abed is something silly too. Like I never know what to whisper in these situations when people do this in movies or whatever. It's a good moment. But you remember how I told you I was watching Bob's Burgers, which I still am. It's funny. We discussed bad animation, charming, funny, whatever. Ken Jeong is in that too, and he's just Ken Jeong again. Like he doesn't play. He has a different name, but he just is the same Ken Jeong character. Like if you close your eyes, you could just be watching Community, listening to Professor Chang be Professor Chang. But
I think after I do this Smallville rewatch I'm on, I might start Bob's Burgers just to see what it's about.
I think I think it is not. You know how some people are like we got to give it X episodes or whatever, and that might be true. But I think you're either like, okay, I'm into the charm and I can stomach the animation, or like, nope, the charm, I get it, but it's just not enough to. But like, I think you get to know quickly with Bob's Burgers. I don't think you have to give it a ton of chance. I don't think. But
Okay.
all right, well, you have a good evening, Chris. Thank you everybody for watching and or listening. And I'll put the details in the description. All of the positive interactions you can share with us would be appreciated. Be fantastic. We appreciate all of them, and we will see you next time.